What's up everyone, it's Kelly and today I've got another favorites video for you. So today I'm partnering up with Cirque Colors. They're actually celebrating their 13th birthday and they're having a huge site-wide sale. So I thought it would be a great time to share my top 10 summer favorites with you. Now before we get into it, if you haven't heard of Cirque before, they are an independent nail polish brand that is based in the US and all of their polishes are non-toxic. They're vegan, meaning they do not use any animal-derived ingredients, and they're also cruelty-free, meaning they do not test their products on animals. And like I said, they're having a huge birthday sale. It's actually 20% off site-wide, no code needed. And if you spend $75 after the discount, you actually get a birthday gift with your purchase, and it is 2 limited edition polishes. So before we get into the favorites, let me show you a quick swatch and review of these 2 exclusive colors. One of them is a wine red shimmer, and then one of them is a flash reactive glitter topper. All right, so this is the Fine Wine Duo. Like I said, we've got 2 exclusive polishes and they are in the theme of aging like a fine wine. So this first shade is called Cabernet Kisses. It's this stunning wine red base, a little bit of like a purpley undertone to it, and then we have this intense duochrome shimmer that shifts between an almost pinky red into a copper into an orange, and then we also have a subtle holographic sparkle running throughout. Now I feel like depending on how much coverage you want in this one, you can wear it in either 2 or 3 coats. 2 coats gives it that more crelly sort of look, whereas 3 coats gives it a very deep coloring and makes it look very rich and bold, and honestly both are stunning. Now the second of this duo is Sparkling Blush, and this one is actually a flash reactive glitter topper. So we have this cool toned pink flash reactive glitter, and if you're not familiar with what that is, it basically is just this super intense sparkle glitter that has the same sort of pigment as traffic signs, that when your lights hit it, they light up in this sort of unreal way. This is what it looks like in regular lighting. I ended up applying 2 coats just to show you how you can kind of build up coverage, but once you put it under a flashlight or flash photography, or even if you're in dim lighting with like a little bit of lights hitting it, it just gives this crazy, almost cartoonish sort of sparkle. And this one's so stunning. I feel like this is one of the rare flash reactive polishes that actually looks better in real life than it does on camera. I don't think I captured this one as well as it looks in real life. I love that pink color. And of course, since we have a polish and a topper, I had to combine them and see what they looked like. And I have to say, I fell in love with this combination. I love the way that that cool toned pink sort of reacts against that wine red color, and it adds just even more of that intense sparkle. It's already a little bit sparkly because of that hollow pigment running throughout, but this just really amps up the intensity. It looks so beautiful, and again, under the flash photography, I feel like it looks so gorgeous, and it even looks more beautiful in real life. So that is the Fine Wine Duo. The gift with purchase is kind of the theme of aging like a fine wine, and like I said, you can grab those 2 exclusively if you're spending $75 after the discount, while supplies last, of course. But now let me dive into my top 10 favorites. I'll be honest, it is very hard to narrow down to just a top 10, so what I decided to do for this video is my top 10 summer picks, and I'm trying to avoid polishes that I just recently reviewed. So I do have a whole playlist of Cirque polishes. If you want to check those out, you can for more inspo. But yeah, I just picked my top 10 that I've been leaning towards this summer, the kind of vibes and colors that I've been going for, and I actually ended up picking a little bit from each era. You'll see their website is divided into their eras. I didn't mean to do that, but I do think it's kind of a funny coincidence. But anyway, let me dive into the favorite swatches, and then we can talk a little bit more about pricing, availability, all that good stuff. So roll the footage. Okay, I'm trying not to repeat favorites, but I think I mentioned this in every single Cirque favorites video, and I mentioned it in a lot of my favorites videos, and I will scream about this polish from the rooftops forever. This is Subculture, and it is a silver linear hollow, and I truly believe that this is the most holographic polish in my collection. Even without direct lighting, it is so intensely sparkly and holographic. It has these little extra flecks in there that just hit the light even more. I think the formula is just stunning. It's perfect 2-coat coverage. It looks so beautiful on. It's a perfect summer color. It's just the perfect silver hollow to me. And then we have the shade Isle of Capri. I'm sure I don't need to tell you if you've ever watched my channel before, but I am a lover of a cool toned purple polish, especially when it has a cool toned shimmer in it, and that is exactly what this is. We have this gorgeous medium purple color, and then we have this intense blue shimmer as well as a hollow sparkle, and this sort of shimmer with the subtle hollow sparkle is just one of my flat out favorite finishes from Cirque. I think they do such an incredible job of them, and this one gives such beautiful coverage. It's such a stunning color, and I feel like you can make this work for multiple seasons, but this just screams spring summer vibes to me. It's just so vibrant and lovely. And then we have the shade Slow Burn. This one is actually a sheer iridescent polish, and it is a shimmer graphic, so we also have that intense sparkly hollow running throughout, but we have this gorgeous sheer base that has a sparkle of iridescence that shifts between this pinky red color into copper, and it is just so stunning. I love that little touch of visible nail line. I love how sparkly it looks with all of that hollow in there, but what especially won me over about this polish was using it as a topper, and it truly works over any color. This is a little bit of a spoiler alert for one of the jellies that's coming up in this favorites video, but this combined with darker colors give this intense, almost like the unicorn pea kind of look with that gorgeous pinky purpley red copper iridescent shimmer plus the hollow sparkle in there, and it always just looks so intense and gorgeous. It also works perfectly over lighter shades. I love experimenting with this one. Okay, so onto the jellies. I tried to narrow it down to just 3 jellies, and these are my top picks, especially for the summertime. The first of which is Lavender Sky, which is this super soft, very light purple crelly shade, and I love this color. I love it on its own. I think it gives such a sheer, elegant sort of look, but I also love it in jelly sandwiches. I love it for nail art. I'm going to show you a jelly sandwich in a bit, so stay tuned for that, but I just think this one is so special and gorgeous. And then we have the shade Cobalt Jelly. This has been a favorite since the day it came out, and this is just the perfect summer blue jelly to me. I think the formula is incredible. I think the coverage is incredible. It looks so vibrant, even though it's a darker color. It just feels like a perfect oceanic or pool vibe. It would be perfect for so many different kinds of nail art. I love it for jelly sandwiches. I love using the color when I'm combining it in a sort of gradient without having to do any sponging on. I just think this one is incredible. I think it's super underrated. I don't think that people talk about it enough. I feel like I talk about it a lot, but if you haven't heard of it, you definitely need to grab this one. And then the third jelly is this one, Lolly Jelly, and I just can't resist this because it is so vibrant and fun for summertime. We have this gorgeous coral color, and it's actually surprisingly opaque, but it still gives that jelly-like sort of feel. So this is what it looks like in 3 coats. You can just barely see my visible nail line, but I think that this is just such an iconic summer color. I feel like it's also a perfect pedicure color, and again, even though it does have that more opaque look to it, it's still really nice for jelly sandwiches, which, like I said, I'm going to show you all these in jelly sandwiches in a second, but yeah, I just love this one for summertime. It's so bright and happy. So now onto the toppers, and I know what you're thinking, Kelly, why would you pick a topper called Snow Angel as a favorite for your summer? But this one to me is just an any time of year color. I love black speckled polishes, and I love black speckled toppers, and when Cirque came out with this white speckled topper, I was so incredibly excited. I feel like it's so versatile. It can be really used for anything. Of course, it's perfect for like a snowy vibe, but I also think it's such a fun way to brighten up a manicure. So I wanted to also show you what it looked like as a topper. I'm pairing it over Cobalt Jelly, and I'm not gonna lie, this combination is given a little bit of like a winter night vibe, but I do think that these two colors are super stunning together, so I couldn't resist pairing them. And here's a little jelly sandwich for you. Again, just such a stunning color combination. This one in particular, maybe it's giving a little wintry vibe, but I still feel like I would totally wear this in the summertime. I think it's really beautiful. Maybe this in a gradient with like a teal jelly would be super gorgeous too. And then we have the topper Fantasia, and this one is an iridescent flaky topper, and this one's really packed in there. We actually have pretty much the whole rainbow of flakies, and we've got some medium ones, we've got some small ones, we've got some super teeny tiny ones, and as the light hits them, you can just see all the colors within, and this looks stunning over every single polish. I think it's no secret that I love iridescent flakies. I think they're absolutely stunning, but I will never get over the way that they look in jelly sandwiches. So this one paired with literally any Cirque jelly is perfect. I paired it over Lolly just to show you, and I think that this combo is gorgeous. It definitely feels so perfectly summery. It highlights all of that gold and and pinky color in the flakies, and I think it looks so beautiful. But when I do another layer of lolly jelly over this and create that jelly sandwich, I feel like this becomes its own sort of polish. Like, I think that this looks like a nail polish that should just exist on its own. I think it's so flawless. It's such a perfect color combination. The colors just melt into each other. They look like they're meant to be together. And again, it's just screaming this summery sort of vibe, especially with the iridescent flakes being all bright, summery sort of colors. I think it's just perfect. And then of course, we can't talk about toppers without talking about XX, one of my original favorite polishes from Cirque. And this is another one, I know I talk about it a lot, but it's another shade that I will just never get tired of. We have, I believe, 20 different varieties of holographic glitters in different shapes, in different colors. And it's not just your average everyday rainbow. It's almost like these softer pastel kind of colors, but then they have the rainbow within that makes it so gorgeous and sparkly. And every time I paint my nails with this, the manicure looks totally different, and I love that. I think it looks perfect over any color. I think it looks especially stunning over black or white, but I'm pairing it here over lavender sky because one thing that I love about XX is doing a jelly sandwich where I'm pairing it with a super light color, and you'll see why in just a second. It's absolutely stunning, but I just want to take a moment to appreciate it as a topper because I think it looks so beautiful this way as well. But when you pair this one with a lighter jelly or crelly, it almost becomes this funfetti cake type of vibe, and that is just something that I absolutely love about this polish. You can see all of those gorgeous light colors of all the glitters in there. You can see some of the fun shapes. This also with a matte top coat is absolutely stunning, but I just wanted to show you this in all of its beauty with a little bit of a shine to it because I think this is just such a perfect combination. And last but not least, I couldn't resist showing you a favorite that I think is a little bit underrated, and it's definitely an older polish, but I feel like people do not talk about this one enough. This is Sol, and it's actually a thermal color changing polish. So when it's warm, it's this really gorgeous, cool toned pink shimmer, and then when it's cold, it actually shifts into this slightly warmer purple tone that also has a pink iridescent shimmer running throughout, and then we also have a hollow sparkle running throughout. I love the way that this color looks in both the cool and warm stage. I think it's super reactive, it's super stunning, but I think both of the colors are soft enough that they give a real elegance to the nail. So I really appreciate that. I love that purple color, but I think that the pink is just such a gorgeous palette cleanser too. So here are all the shades that I was just talking about. The first two are the exclusives from the Fine Wine duo, and the rest are my favorites picks for the summertime. And looking at this chart, I feel like it's very clear what kind of colors I lean towards with Cirque, especially around this time of year. I'm definitely big on the jellies, I'm definitely big on the toppers, and there is just something so special to me about iridescent shimmer and sparkle and a little bit of hollow, and definitely clearly in the purple, pink, blue kind of family. So I love all of these shades. It was definitely hard to narrow it down, but I feel like these are the colors that I tend to go towards this time of year, and I'm definitely going to be playing around with these, especially the jellies. I think that they're just so fun to experiment with and do different layers and gradients and all sorts of stuff. And I think the three that I chose are a really nice variety of what Cirque is capable of just within that one finish. I think that's really cool. But yeah, let's talk about these a little bit more. So yeah, those are my favorites. And like I said, it really is hard to narrow down. I've been using Cirque polishes since I think 2013, so almost since the beginning. I have so many colors. I have so many polishes that I love. I've actually done other favorites videos of them before, but I do really like to kind of divide my polishes seasonally and based on the kind of vibes that I'm in the mood for. I guess I kind of have my own eras. And right now I feel like my era is very strongly jellies, toppers, sheer iridescent sort of vibes, and definitely in the pink, purple, blue family. So yeah, I think the sale is really exciting. I love that they divided their website up into these eras because it's so interesting to see their growth as a brand and how their interests have kind of shifted around. But I honestly feel like they have just been so consistently high quality. I really appreciate that. So now let's get into pricing and availability. All these polishes come in the usual 11 milliliter bottles. They do feature a wide flat brush that has a rounded tip, so application super easy. easy. They also sell replacement brushes on their website if you are interested in their round skinny brushes, or if you have older polishes that you want to get the wide flat brush for. Now the price does vary based on the finish of the polish, but generally they range between $12.50 and $16.50 USD each. And like I said, we do have the site-wide sale, no code needed. And like I said, the two polishes that I showed you in the beginning are exclusives and they are only available as a gift with purchase while supplies last. So I'm going to link everything down in the description. You can check them out if you're interested, but I'm so curious to hear from you. What do you think of my favorites picks? Do we have any overlapping favorites? Are you planning on picking any polishes up from the sale, or have you already? Let me know in the comments. We can chat about it. And if you enjoy my favorites videos, please hit that like button. It really helps me out. It lets me know I'm doing a good job. If you're not already subscribed to my channel, I would really appreciate it if you could subscribe. I love you all, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye. I thought since we're talking about all the eras of Cirque, our would you rather question could just be, which era do you like from Cirque the best? And you don't have to have used Cirque for 13 years to answer it. You could just let me know in the comments. But I would have to say for me, it would probably be their jelly era in 2020, because I think that their release of jellies kind of unlocked something in my brain. And I just love how big their catalog of jellies are. I love doing nail art with jellies. I love doing jelly sandwiches, and I think that that time period just spoke to me the most. Their iridescent era was also very fantastic. I will say their candy coated polishes remind me a lot of the winter holidays, just because that's when they were first released, and the jellies I kind of wear year round. But yeah, I feel like, I don't know if that's a boring answer, but I will just always have a special place in my heart for Cirque jellies because they're just such high quality, and I don't know, they're the brand that I started playing around with jellies, so I think that's really fun. But yeah, let me know your answer in the comments. We can chat about it, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye!